Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 7 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab, scroll down to grade 7 math, and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter decimals. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Can you see my screen now? Okay, yes, you can see now. So here I'm on grade 7 math. Chapter we are on right now is decimals. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is decimal numbers review. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is decimal numbers review. Okay, in 35.68, which digit is in the tens place? So basically, we need to learn the place value chart of for the decimals. So the place value chart for the decimals looks like this. The digits right before the decimal is ones digit and tens digit. Like we have digits, the whole numbers, ones, tens, hundreds, tens, and thousands. And right after the decimal point, they are with tenths. Now you need to add them with th. Tens, tenth, hundredth, thousandth, 10,000. So we have th with the digits that decimal point, right? Hold on. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Write 4 and 700th as decimal number. So TH means that is the digit that is right after the decimal point. Hundredth, so 7 would be at the after the decimal point. First thing we need to do is let's just make a place value chart. Okay, 4 and 700th. So place value chart would be 1, 10th, 100th, So 4 and 700. 4 is at the ones place. You are not given with the tenth, so a 0 over here and 7 at the hundred. So that is 4.07. The correct option is 4.07. Option number 1 is the correct option. Right? 47 and 3 tenth. So 47 and 3 tenth. Just make a place value chart 1 tenths and tenth. That is 47.3. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 47.3. Which decimal is equivalent to 92.43? 92.43. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 92.4300. You can add 0 at the end, they would be exactly the same. So 92.4300. Option number 1 is the correct option. Is 85.13 in 85.13, which digit is at the ones place? So which is the correct option? 85.13. 5 is at the ones place, 8 is at the tens, 1 is at the tenth, and 3 is at the hundredth. So 5 is at the ones place. The correct option is option number 1 is the correct option. 5 is at the ones place. Is R 0.9 and 0.90 are equivalent decimals? Yes, they are exactly same. Yes, they are exactly equivalent. Option number 1 is the correct option. Is 6 in 6.52? In which place is the 6? So 6 is at the ones place. Option number 3 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. That is compare and other decimals. Which sign makes the statement true? 5.1 and 4.9. 5.1 and 4.9. Let's just look at their ones digit. 5 and 4. 5 is greater than 4. So that means 5.1 is greater than 4.9. Let's just start with the 10 questions. Which sign makes the statement true? So ones, tenth, hundredths. So that is 3.12, 3.42. So the ones digit is exactly same. Then the tenth, 1 and 4. 1 is less than 4. That means 3.12 is less than 3.42. 3.12 is less than 3.42. Option number 2 is the correct option. Which sign makes the statement true? 4.96 and 4.86. So let's just look at the digits. Let's just write them down in the place value chart, right? Ones, tenth, hundredth. So if you look at their ones digit are exactly same. And if you look at the tenth digit, 9 is greater than 4.96 is greater than 4.86. Option number 1 is the correct option. 9. That is option number option number 1 is the correct option. Which sign makes the statement true? 6.18 and 8.58. 6.18 is less than 8.58. Option number 2 is the correct option. Which sign makes the statement true? 8.10 and 7.90. 8.10 is less than 7.90. Option number is the correct option. It is greater and I selected the greater sign. 8.10 is greater than 7.90. Greater it is. Which sign makes the statement true? 3.91 and 3.21. So 3.91 is greater than 3.21. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is round decimals. What is 38.8 rounded to the nearest whole number? 38.8 rounded to the nearest whole number. 38.8. So the digit right after the decimal point is 8 and 8 is greater than 5. So it would be rounded on 39. So 38.8 is rounded to 39. Let's just start with the test questions. What is 62.2 rounded to the nearest whole number? 62.2. Digit right after the decimal point is 2. 2 is less than 5. So you need to round on the same whole number, so it would be rounded to 62. The correct option is the correct option is 62. Option number 1 is the correct option. What is 70.6 rounded to the nearest whole number? So that is 70.6. So the digit right after decimal point is 6. 6 is greater than 5. So you need to round up, add 1 to the whole number. So it would be 71. Option number 1 is the correct option. That would be 71. The correct option is 71. Option number 1 is the correct option. What is 70.8 rounded to nearest whole number? 70.8 is rounded to 71. Option number 2 is the correct option. 71 it is. What is 17.4 rounded to nearest whole number? 17.4 is rounded to 17. Option number 2 is the correct option. What is 97.2 rounded to the nearest? 97.2 is rounded to 97. Option number 1 is the correct option. What is 49.1 rounded to nearest whole number? That is 49. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. That is decimal number lines. But find the value of A. Write your answer as a decimal number. So A equals 0.4. Let's just start with the test questions. Find the value of K. Write your answer as a decimal number. 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. So K equals 0.4. The correct option is K equals 0.4. Option number 2 is the correct option. That equals 0.4. Find the value of Y. Write your answer as a decimal number. So Y equals, just count the small lines, right? Every line is 0.1 more than the previous one, right? That is 0.2. Option number 2 is the correct option. Find the value A. A equals 0.4. Option number 1 is the correct option. Find the value of t. Write your answer as a decimal number. That is 0.9. Option number 2 is the correct option. What is the value of p? That is 0.7. Option number 1 is the correct option. Find the value of r. Write your answer as a decimal. That is 0.8. Option number 2 is the correct option. Find the value of x. That is 0.7. Option number 1 is the correct option. Find the value of a. That is 0.1. Option number 2 is the correct option. Find the value of P. So which is the correct option? That is 0.4. Option number 2 is the correct option. But find the value of P. So which is the correct option? That is 0.5. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we are working on grade 4, grade 7 math. The chapter we're working on is decimals. The lessons we have covered today are decimal numbers review, compare and order decimals, round decimals, and decimal number lines. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat but there to help you, or either you can write them down in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. Any questions you can please ask. If you have any, I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So any questions? Any questions you can please ask if you have any. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye everyone.